Spanish poet Miriam Cano is a Catalan writer. She has published several poetry books. She has combined her literary activity with her job as a cultural journalist in Catalan publications, as well as a Catalan public radio, Catalunya Radio. Please welcome to the stage, Miriam Cano.
Good evening, everyone. I am from Catalonia, a nation governed by the Spanish state. For years, we have been claiming a right to decide by vote whether or not we wish to be an independent state. Last October, a referendum was held in my country. The Spanish government tried to prevent it by sending the riot police to the polling stations. They used batons and rubber bullets to remove those who were peacefully defending their right to decide. Hundreds of people were injured. A man lost his eye because of a rubber bullet. After that, pro-independent activists Jordi Cuixart and Jordi Sánchez were arrested and imprisoned pending trial. This was a year ago. They still haven't been charged, and they're facing a trial without any judicial guarantees. Other pro-independent leaders were also called to court. Some of them decided to flee the country and go into exile. The ones who stayed were also sent to jail. But this is not only about independence. The Catalan issue has revealed something much more worrisome: the erosion of fundamental human rights in Spain. There is no justice, there is no freedom of speech. There is a rap singer in exile for a song mocking the Spanish monarchy. Another is set to go to trial. An actor has been detained for offending the church in a supposedly non-religious state. A humorist is being judged for a joke about the police. An activist is confined in her hometown just for protesting. As my friend, Catalan poet Maria Cabrera said, I understand poetry as a way of making words seem stranger, of making them right again with all the strength and the strangeness of its sense. That's why I think that words like prison, exile, repression, and censorship must keep all the seriousness and the terrible weight of their meaning. I want to dedicate my poems this evening to those who have struggled and resisted throughout history, to you, South Africans, an example of peaceful resistance, to those who are in prison, exiled, or court for defending their ideas, for singing, for writing. And especially, I want to dedicate this recital to Jordi Cuixart and Jordi Sánchez for all the kisses, the sunsets, and the laughters that the injustice has robbed them, for their courage. We want them to back home. Thank you. We smile condescendingly at the freak who shouts great truths on the subway escalators as we move on, eclipsing the doubt in silence, alone. Same poem in Catalan. Somriem condescendents al boig que crida les seves grans veritats a l'escala del metro, mentre avancem estàtics i eclipsem el dubte en silenci, sols. Now, I want to read a poem by Gabriele Faraday. Gabriele Faraday is a Catalan poet. It's very important to me. Without him, I will probably not be there tonight. So this is called Autumn Room, Cambra de Tardor. The blind, not fully closed, like a sudden fear held back before dropping, does not separate us from the open air. Look, 37 horizons open, straight and fragile, but the heart forgets them. Without yearning, the light is dying on us that was honey-colored and that now has the color of apple smell. How slow the world. How slow the world. How slow the sadness for the hours that go by so hurriedly. Tell me, will you remember this room? I love it so much. Those voices of workers, where are they? Masons. A house is missing on the block. They sing, and today I can hear them. They shout, they laugh, and today it seems strange to me that they are silent. How slow, the red leaves of the voices, how uncertain when they come to cover us. Asleep, the leaves of my kisses are covering the shelters of your body, and while you forget the high leaves of summer, the open days without kisses, the body in its depth remembers. Your skin is still half sun, half moon. I wrote this poem one day that a guy told me that he wanted me to be the mother of their child. And it was like, of your child, not mine, not ours. And I saw myself as a receptacle. And I wrote this poem. Artificial paradises don't fit childhood fantasies anymore. I won't be a mourner waiting for significance by opening my womb. I won't carry the ancient pain imposed by primordial guilt that turns the body into a receptacle of pervivance. I will make sense only for my own blood, for the saliva that oils my cry, for the deep humanity of the voracious and perpetual shadow I always fear and know, for the dread that's fed by this wild desire of living. I will be the rage and the tenderness, the obsession and the caress, the bite on the teeth, the almighty love and the soft lips, the urgency. I will be the eyes that want to see it all. I will be the flesh and the being. Now, I'm going to read you a poem in Catalan. It's about, do you know that theory of chords? Have you seen Interstellar? You know, the movie in which there are a lot of dimensions in which things happen. I don't know. I wrote a poem based on that theory of chords. L'observació no fa certes les coses, les fa sols, mesurables, vibrar més enllà d'allò conegut, oblidar les partícules que ens delimiten la realitat, ser amplada, llargada, profunditat, temps, però no només. Si les cordes existeixen i ens atorguen el salconduit que perllongui els llims, viurem a les 6 dimensions que ningú no veu, que ningú no es creu, per poder dir, quan tot d'una es despleguin, que vam tenir el valor d'evitar l'impossible. Next poem is called Chaos, and I wrote it from the theory of chaos, you know, the butterflies and the tsunami on the Pacific Ocean. And it's about responsibility. The way we act has a lot of consequences for all that surround us, not even the nearest ones, maybe for all the world sometimes. There's a citation in this poem from a book by Julian Barnes, Levels of Life, that says, "You put together two things that have been not been put together before, and the world is changed. People may not notice at the time, but that doesn't matter. The world is changed nonetheless. It is not about butterflies and tsunamis that I want to talk about to you. If I say chaos, I say the weight of everything you do. I say you change the world every time you make a choice. I say beware. Now that you know that, you'll have to learn how not to make false steps, to speak only if required, to make a choice after having renounced, to bet for certainties. If recklessness moves your wings, you will fill the Pacific with corpses. Thank you. My second book, Encourage, takes his name from the city of Alaska. I have never been to Alaska, but I was supposed to travel there a few years ago. So I turned the central part of my book into an utopia, kind of utopia. And this is one of the most important poems in the second part. Ice seals grief and makes it unreachable, translucid and cold. Standing on frost, I no longer exhale the spring, a wide and empty view from the nevermore wasteland where silence becomes paradise lost. Suspense is comforting when it stops disaster through omission. Under the snow, time. Under the fear, July. Arcady, under the ice. And in Alaska, ego. Next poem. I wrote this poem when I was in Paris. I spent some time there to finish the book. And there was a night, it was raining all the time, and I bought a bottle of wine and went to my apartment. I don't remember if I drank the entire bottle of wine, but it may be possible coming from me. And and I remember that I was so happy to be there, but I don't know if it was a wine or something. I remember I thought that it would be incredible to catch that moment and keep it with me for when I need it, as if I was a balm or something. But then I discovered that it wasn't possible, of course. But there was something that was more valuable of that moment that I learned when I was there. I would like to know what has taken me here, to the peaceful moment that warms me in this cold evening in Clichy. I could take the wine, the warmth of the memory of you, so clear, the music and the endless rain. I could put it all together and make a balm for when my feet feel heavy. I'd like to, but I'll never find again this warmth inside me that bathes everything in sudden light. To live is to welcome the fleeting moment, hold it in oath to graft it to you so it can give a new, unpredictable fruit. My last two poems, if you don't mind, I will read it in Catalan. I know it's difficult to understand, but it's just like the sound of my language. This is called Motel. Aquesta cambra és un hotel de carretera. La Bíblia del calaix ets tu. Et llegeixo en diagonal, sota una llum freda de fluorescent que oculta rere pampallugues fragments d'evangelis apòcrifs que encara no han de ser llegits. Només donada aquesta part de la veritat que amagues sota les mans que ara em prenen. Els fars davanters del cotxe que s'atansa et projecten contra la paret groga de fum. Teva és la sort d'obrir portes i saldar deutes antics. Jo t'espero amb la fe de la dona del soldat, que ablana llençols sense mesura de temps ni certeses de retorn. And... Wait. And the last one is called Monomania. Monomania, like an obsession for something. In my case, there was obsession for someone to touch me at that time. Yeah, it's a pity that's in Catalan and you cannot understand it. L'agost et dibuixa corriols de desig a les cames nues. Ningú els voreja i amb la mà, tremolant prou per simular un nou tacte, solques pell a pell la pròpia pell, per no negar la tendresa a aquest cos teu que malgrat tot encara estimes. Tanca algotanys i clivelles per acceptar-te tota, algunes cosides de viu en viu i la santa paciència d'aguantar-te quan fas cara de troisième gymnopédie, perquè ningú et para a la taula ni t'escalfa el llit. Aquest posat teu de drama queen, per què enganyar-te? Les campanes toquen a missa de 8 i et retornen a l'hora concreta i aquest espai. Sant Madí, jocs florals, l'estiu al pati, aquesta calor infernal que no s'acaba, els àtoms d'una realitat tan certa que voldries esclafar-la contra la paret i estripar d'una vegada la baralla. Però tanques els ulls i tornes a vorejar-te la pell, tremolant prou per simular un nou tacte. Before leaving the stage, I want to say that I'm so glad to be here today with all these amazing women in this all-woman night. Women from different countries, from different parts of the world, and poets that I have had the chance to know these days. And I feel so blessed and so happy to be part of this evening tonight. Thank you.